which has come down from heaven. Anyone who eats this bread will live forever. And the bread that I shall give is my flesh for the life of the world. Then the Jews started arguing with one another. How can this man give us his flesh to eat? They said. Jesus replied, I tell you most solemnly, if you do not eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you will not have life in you. Anyone who does eat my flesh and drink my blood has eternal life, and I shall raise him up on the last day. For my flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood lives in me, and I live in him. As I, who am sent by the living Father, myself draw life from the Father, so whoever eats me will draw life from me. This is the bread come down from heaven, not like the bread our ancestors ate. They are dead. But anyone who eats this bread will live forever. This is the gospel of the Lord.
Before we proceed to the baptism of Myers, I have a little reflection on the readings that we have just heard. And while these last 3 Sundays, so to say, every Sunday, we spoke so much on the power of the Eucharist, that is the greatest gift that God has given us before leaving this world. Today, I would rather underline that and speak of the fruit of the power that is given to us through the Eucharist. And the fruit, the greatest fruit that we can receive from the Eucharist is the power of wisdom. Wisdom that today is underlined both in the reading of the first reading from the Proverbs, and also from the second reading of Paul to the Ephesians. Wisdom has built herself a house, she has erected her 7 pillars, she has dispatched her maid servant. Who is ignorant, let him step this way, so that he can have power of wisdom. This is the first reading. And then, of course, the second reading, Paul, who had received the Eucharist himself, who has distributed the Eucharist to others, and with them, participated with them and with the first community. Then he was appealing to the Ephesians, be very careful about the sort of lives you lived, like intelligent and not like senseless people. This may be a wicked age. This is Paul writing in the 1st century after Christ. It is about the year 70 or 100. He has called his time wicked age. Sometimes we are tempted also to call our time because of what we see in the news, and maybe also of what we experience in life. This is a wicked age that we are living. No, all the ages are the same. There is evil all the time, and we as Christians are called, as Paul appealed to his Ephesians, and do not be thoughtless and recognize what is the will of the Lord. Your lives should redeem it. That's what Paul was saying to the Ephesians. We know that we are surrounded maybe by evil, as all the world has been, on all times that there has been good and evil living together. But we as Christians and especially through the power of the Eucharist, we are all called to redeem it, and redeem it to our witness, to our example, and what we do. And the first step of this redemption is going to be, has been our baptism, and then from our baptism we proceeded to receive the other sacraments of the Holy Eucharist, the confirmation and the rest, and today we are performing this baptism on Miles. It's an occasion for us to renew our vows of our baptism, because we are all called to redeem the world. And we are here every Sunday to receive the power of the Eucharist, be wise people, and live maybe in an evil world, but we are there to redeem it. Let's call now the parents of Miles.